Welcome to the demonstration of the Enterprise Edition of IRI CellShield. CellShield EE is a powerful software package for masking personally identifiable information, or PII, in Excel spreadsheets. CellShield finds, reports on, changes, and audits the data in cells across multiple sheets at once. The functions you can apply to each range are encryption or decryption, masking or redaction, pseudonymization or restoration. Encryption encodes data so only those who are authorized can decrypt and read that data. Masking covers the cell contents or pieces of the value so that the data is no longer visible. Once redacted in that way, it cannot be recovered. Pseudonymization replaces the PII value in a cell with a substitute value that was scrambled from the original set or selected from another lookup set. The first step in the cell shielding process is finding the PII. I'll search for it from the Dark Data Discovery tool in the IRI Workbench GUI for Windows. That wizard lets me specify popular or custom Java regular expression patterns or strings in a lookup table to search for. It then scans for conforming values in all the spreadsheets I can access in my local directories and shared network drives. The wizard can extract those values to a flat file and create a data definition file for use in other IRI software in the Workbench. But for CellShield purposes, it also creates an EIF or Excel interchange file I can open in Excel. That file is a spreadsheet listing every pattern matching PII cell range in every document the Discovery wizard found. From that same EIF report sheet, I can open each sheet and protect the highlighted ranges, or I can bulk protect the PII across the board using the same function, all in one click. So to use the Dark Data Discovery menu in the IRI Workbench to locate the PII, I first select the directories to search. I'm going to search both the local network and my computer's hard drive. I then select the file type extension. CellShield is an Excel tool, so I tick .xls and .xlsx files. To specify the search patterns, I can browse from popular or saved patterns, create a new search, or use the directory search. I will create by browsing common patterns in the new pattern menu in order to search for credit cards and social security numbers. Add each to the table by clicking on the Add to Table button. By default, all the metadata display terms are pre-selected and would show up in that flat file I mentioned earlier, but I can choose to deselect one or more of them if I don't need all that forensic detail. Choose the Excel interchange file name and directory. Default is searchoutput.eif in the document folder on the C drive. Choose Next to continue. If the output files do not exist, the wizard prompts you to create them. It will display a preview of the files that it found. I will click Finish to complete the Dark Data Discovery wizard, which built my EIF report file. From here, I'll move into Excel and work with the rest of the CellShield features. First, I need to launch Excel with CellShield pre-installed. Under the CellShield tab, I click Import the EIF file. That'll bring up my search report and the CellShield spreadsheet selector dialog where I can start making my protection decisions. I will browse to open the EIF file that I created in the IRI Workbench Dark Data Discovery wizard. The EIF sheet contains the file directory, file name, sheet name, pattern, start cell, and end cell details the search produced. It also contains new comment and audit columns. Note that if the data pattern is found in non-contiguous cell ranges, CellShield will make separate entries for those ranges in the report. Let's start our protections by encrypting credit card numbers the report shows are exposed. I will show this as an ad hoc exercise and select the cells containing the credit card numbers in each sheet that CellShield has opened for me. Click on the Encrypt and Decrypt icon in the CellShield ribbon. Select the Encrypt menu item. This opens the Encryption menu, a feature that allows me to encrypt selected cell ranges within the open document. To encrypt this data, I choose an encryption type and specify a passphrase to use as the encryption key. I can choose to send the encrypted cell data to a new spreadsheet in the same workbook or encrypt in place. You'll need to remember which approach you took if you use format-preserving encryption, since the ciphertext is so realistic it'll confuse you. Decryption reverses the encryption, restoring the original data. For the next demo, I'm going to use CellShield's bulk remediate feature to redact Social Security numbers in all the sheets at once. First, I select the pattern names from the drop-down list. You can select all, one, or more. I am masking the Social Security numbers, so I click PIN_US. Notice that the EIF list has the PIN_US files highlighted. Choose the protection type. I am selecting the intra-cell search feature to find and mask the PII wherever it is found in the document, even floating within a broader cell. Click the Bulk Remediate button. Click Yes on the Irreversible Action Warning to continue. Clicking Yes will remediate the PII in place, so click No or Cancel if you don't want your original data changed. The intra-cell search form opens. Notice the pattern corresponds to the selection type. Enter the masking character. The menu defaults to whole string masking. However, you may choose to mask part of the string. I'll choose partial string and specify the start position and number of characters to mask, removing the pre-filled example. We want the first 5 digits of the Social Security number to be masked with the #. Click OK to bulk mask the list of files. The bulk remediate feature opens every document in the EIF list, performs the specified masking function, and then saves and closes each document automatically. The audit column in the EIF file is updated with the action details. The EIF file is minimized to allow the program to run in the background. You can see it running in the progress bar below the CellShield spreadsheet selector. You can also cancel the operation at any point. Please note that this may leave some of your files protected and others unprotected. Once the program finishes, the pop-up tells me the remediation was done. I'll click OK to maximize the EIF file and see that the action was added to the audit column. Subsequent remediation attempts get appended to the audit column so that you have a history of what happened, where, and when. Click on Open Select Workbook to verify that the first 5 digits of the Social Security numbers are masked. The last protection feature I'm going to show is pseudonymization, which is a realistic way to de-identify names or other proper nouns. Pseudonymization in CellShield can be reversible or not, and use set files containing both the original and substitute values. The first thing I need to do is find out where the names are. I could have found them in the Dark Data Discovery Wizard by specifying a lookup file, and it would have searched the sheets for any strings that match the values in that file. But I can also do that from here. Click the Import Set File icon in the CellShield ribbon. This opens a set file search facility. I'll browse to the set file with the names I'm looking for and try to load it. I'll get an error if there's a problem with the file. It needs to be a list of ASCII values delimited by a space or carriage return. Click OK to continue. For the remediation type here, we're choosing pseudonymization, though we could also do redaction or encryption instead. Click on the Find Matches to highlight the matches. The menu gives a count of the matches found. Click OK to continue. Note that the matches found are highlighted in red. Tick Recoverable to save a restore file or non-recoverable to prevent data restoration. For recoverable, a restore file is automatically created in the cx-pseudo_restore folder on the local drive. The original set file is scrambled to randomly create substitute values in the set file to make pseudonym values, which will also get saved into a recovery file for optional restoration later. I could also use an external list of names for pseudonymization and browse to that foreign data set instead. But it's important that values must have the number of names as your original set of names in order to work. In this case, though, I'm choosing to scramble the original data, so I click Remediate to pseudonymize the names in the sheet, and I can see the scrambled names are now in place. Remember, you can restore the original names by using the recovery file. Click the Restore tab in the Set File module, navigate to the file on the cx-pseudo_restore folder, and click the Restore button. Thank you for watching the CellShield EE features demonstration. For more information, visit us on the web at www.iri.com.